Yes, now we will read the chapter of Standard 12. This is the poem. This is the fourth poem. And I think that this is little bit hard. So you have to learn it, you have to listen it with very care. This is written by John Keats. John Keats was the great poet and he had taken the birth in 1795 and died in 1821. He was a British romantic poet. In the sense, he is having the romance in each and everything. Here, he describes the romance in beauty of nature. So, he describes about the beauty of nature, about the beauty of immortality. Here also in the poem, he is describing these things. A thing of beauty also, the name shows, refers that here is the description about the beauty of nature, about the beauty of creatures, about the beauty of human being. So how he has described, how he has shown us the depiction of the poem, how he has described about the literary devices. The poem is full of imagination. There are so many imaginary things. There is poetic device about the imagination. So let's start the poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bird quiet for us and asleep, full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So a thing of beauty is a joy forever. The poet is saying he is wanting to describe that the beauty is not the mortal thing. It is not for just fiction. It is the beauty for forever. Means whenever the beauty will be there, it will live forever in the hearts. It will have the joy for the creatures. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Means day by day, gradually, its loveliness, its beautiness will increase upstairs, not will decrease. Means when there will be the beauty, it will increase day by day. There will not be any ugliness and there will not be any falsehood. But will keep a war quiet for us and a sleep for a sweet dreams and health and a quiet breath. It also gives us the war quiet. War means a pleasant shady place under trees. So here he has given the war quiet. Means whenever we are having the shady place, we are having the trees in whose shadow we are having the life. The creatures, the animals, the birds are having the good health and they are having the life in quietness and they are also having the life, the breathing there to sit in the shadow of the life or in the shadow of the trees. So here he has given the metaphor. Metaphor is the poetic device. A bar quiet means just like the shadow gives just like the trees gives the shadow and have the quietness to sit there, as it is the beauty also there to give the joy in the life of the human being, in the life of all the creatures. Here is the poetic device, alliteration. Alliteration where the consonants or the vowels will start at the starting of the words, continuous starting of the words, like here in SS, sleep, sweet, SS. Also there in another line we will see in the second stanza. Here is rhyming scheme A, A, B, B, C. In all these 5 lines, A, A, B, B, C is the rhyming scheme. Forever, never, keep, sleep, breathing. So A, A, forever, never, keep, sleep, B, B, breathing, C. Here the poet in the next stanza is also giving the description that how we are. We means the mortal things, the human beings having the relax. So therefore on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band of bind us to the earth, spite of despondence of the inhuman dirt, of novel natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways. made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Here he is saying that therefore on every morrow. Morrow means the following day. It means the morning, tomorrow. The tomorrow, the following day, the coming day means on every day are we wreathing. Means we are. Wreathing means covering. We are covered. We are protected with a flowery band. Means there is a flowery band, just like the flowery band which binds us, the human heart. Just like this also the beauty binds us and the beauty covers us from the coming day. And which is living on the earth means we are living on the earth, and through the earth we are here to cover with the beauty of love. Despite of the response of in the human dearth of noble natures means despite the sadness, the hopeless, the gloominess, means in spite of the sadness, the hopeless, we are living our lives in full of enjoyment, not in the gloomy days. Means the noble inhumans, the noble natures, the human being, those who are having the noble nature, they are living on the earth and they are having the happiness. They are not even hopeless and they are living even in this gloomy days. Means in these sad days. Whenever they are living in these sad days, if there is beauty, then they can enjoy the life with the happiness, with the hope that they will have the full of life, full of joy. Again, the poet is saying that of all the unhealthy and over-darkening ways made for our searching, means whenever the unhealthy things will be there, the creature, those who are having the unhealthy habits, and if they are living their lives in the darkened ways, in the gloomy days, in the gloomy ways, they are also there to search the things, to search the way in which they can live their life with happiness. And all, yes, in spite all of these things, in spite means beside all of these things, there are some shape of beauty moves above the pall from our dark spirits. Pall, a dark cloud. Means just like the dark cloud moves on the sky and the sun hides inside the dark cloud, here also the gloomy days which is hidden in our gloomy days in our heart, means our dark spirits, our gloomy spirit, our sad spirits are covered with the bad things, with the bad omens, with the bad gloomy days. So if we are there to search the joy of beauty, then we will also be there to remove this dark cloud of gloom days, the dark cloud of unhappiness. Here also so many figure of speeches. See, we wreathing a flowery band to bind. Here are 5 figure of speeches used only in this line. First is wreath, we wreath, WW means alliteration. Band, bind, alliteration. Second is metaphor. Wrapping a flowery band to bind means just like the joy, just like the garland of the flowers have the happiness, they are there to bind the joyfulness. Here also it is giving the metaphor that the flowery band is binding the happiness of the human. Here is inversion. Inversion, whenever there will be the disorder way of the subject and the verb agreement with the rest part. So here are we wreathing? It should be we are wreathing, but here it is written are we wreathing, because the poet is wanting to match the wreathing word to make the rhyming scheme. Again, a flowery band to bind. There is imaginary. Imaginary, well, there will be the imagination. Nothing will be there to show, but the poet is here that he is having the imagination that there is the band, there is the bouquet of the flowers. So here is also the imagination. So I thought that you have learned about these all figure of speeches in this line. Anaphora is also there. of noble natures, of all the unhealthy. Means of is there used at the starting of the lines, which means anaphora is there. Searching some shape is spite. Alliterations are there. So this poem is full of figure of speeches, and this poem is full of poetic devices. So let's proceed our poem. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shadow boon for simple sheep. And such are daffodils, with the green world they live in. Such the sun. Now here he is describing about the nature, about the beauty of nature, which are hidden in sun, moon, trees, and they are sprouting a shadow boon. Means these things also having the nature, having the beauty, and they are also having the showing the sprouting means showing, increasing the shady boon. Shady boon means blessings. So they are showering the blessings, showering the blissful events which are shady, means which are hidden. Means quietly, the poet is saying that quietly the sun, moon, stars and trees and all these natural things, those who are showering the blessings on the human creatures and also all the creatures, animals, and without any showing, without any imagination, without any greed. So they are having the shadowy blessings on each and every one. So such are daffodils, with our green world they live in. Means if the trees are there and on the trees there are the flowers like daffodils, they are also living their lives, they are having the love. Also they are dwelling their lives in the love of natural beauty. And clear lilies that for themselves are cooling covert make against the hot season, the mid-forest break. Clear rills. Rills means streams, means the full of water. So the clear rills, the streams which are having the clear water and that for themselves are cooling covert. Covert means not displayed. Also here they are showing that they are not displaying their blessing, their love, but without showing their love, they are cooling the minds of the human being as well as the creatures, because in the summer days they are having, in the hot days they are having the hotness. So they are also giving the coolingness in the form of love. So they are also in the mid-forest, they are there and they are breaking, they are coming from the mountains and showering their blessings in the form of the cool water. Here also the poetic devices, old and young. Old and young, these words are opposite. So here is antithesis. antithesis means when there will be the two words which are opposite with each other used, there will be antithesis. Sprouting a shady boon, here imagination. Means they are sprouting, means nothing is there. Even then the poet is describing that they are showering, they are blessing and they are giving the boons. So there is imagination. Such are daffodils, with the green world they live in. Here also the imagination. No daffodils are there, but even the poet is describing here that as they are the human beings and they are having the life on the trees. So here is also imagination. Cooling covered. Alliteration is there? Yes. Now the last stanza. Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we had heard to read. Rich and sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. The beauty, the nature which are having in the musk rose, means the red roses are also blooming, they are also glittering, they are sprinkling, glittering, and they are rich of lovingness, they are full of lovingness, and such too is grandeur of the dooms. Grandeur, impressive, in great and supreme manner. Of dooms, dooms means the last day, whenever the death day is there of someone. So whenever the warriors are there, the great warriors are there to have the fight with the enemies. So whenever their last day are there, their gloomy days are there, so if they are showing the impression in the field, and if there will be the last day of them, then the musk rose blossoms, then the musk rose bouquets are there to show on the grave of their martyrs or their grandeur. So they are there also used, they are also showing the love, and they are also blooming the beauty of nature. We have imagined for the mighty dead, means here we have imagined means whenever they are there in the fight, they are there in the fields to fight the enemies, and whenever they are dead, then we use this type of bouquets and flowers also for our mighty and great dead people. And here also these things are made for that by God. God also had made such things which are having the love, which are having the beauty, and which are having the impression on us. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring onto us from the heaven's spring. All lovely tales that we have heard or read. Whenever we are there to read or listen the tales, the stories, the short stories, the stories of the fairs by our grandparents, by our grandmothers, then also there are endless fountains. Means there are also imagination, nothing is there, but even then in the tales there are the fountains, there are the streams, there are the sprinkling water, and whenever we are there to drink that immortal drink, the water which cannot be ended, and pouring us from the heavens bring, and they are pouring, they are showering their blessings from the earth, from the heaven. Means heaven brings from the showers, from the streams, from the layer edge, bring heaven's edge. From where the stream comes? From the mountains, and the mountains are imagined just like that they are connected with the heaven. So here also streams are described that they are coming from the edge of the heavens through the mountains, and through there they are showering their blessings in the form of God. Whenever we are there to listen these type of stories, we are great, we are full of, we are grandeur of the beauty of the God. In the last line, pouring onto us from the heavens bring imagination. Again the poet is describing that the God will be there to shower their blessings on us, to pour their blessings on us through the heaven. So there is also imagination. Immortal drink, metaphor. The drink which is compared with the immortality, like the human being. Just like the human being, those who are having the immortality, and also they are compared the drink which cannot be end, which cannot have any end point, then it is compared there. So I think the poem will give, my explanation will give some help to you. So I hope that you will remain with me for. Have a great day.